Okay, good morning and welcome to Coffee Talk. Self-worth is one of the most crucial elements to living a joyful life. It is very difficult to live a life of joy when you are lacking in self-worth. So let me go back a little bit. The entire experience of Jersey Belle for me was tumultuous because as the creator and one of the producers and the star, I carried the weight of the world on my shoulders to try to make that show a success. And for all intents and purposes, the show was a success. The problem was, truthfully, the show was on the wrong network. That's just what it boils down to. And I think my gut knew this the whole time. I was fighting a battle I knew I could never win. How do you make a show about real women, real friendship, real trial and error, real life, real marriage, on a network that doesn't support that? They loved me and I loved them, but we were different animals. Then, the show comes around, and in order for the show to come back, the show has to be something different. I won't get into a ton of detail about it, but they didn't want to have to ask me to make it different, and I was not willing to make it different. So it was sort of like breaking up with a boyfriend that you still really love, you just know isn't good for you. But what happened was there was a period of time after that I suffered in silence, alone, because I saw all of these people being rewarded with different TV shows and opportunities. And I thought, I'm doing it all right. Why isn't it working for me? I didn't sell out. I'm not exploiting my relationships or my friendships, my marriage. Like, when does it happen for the good girl? I was the bad girl for so long, and I've worked so hard to not be that anymore. Why are all these opportunities happening for all these people who are not doing it right? And I lived in that space for a while, and I became very, in my own head, grandioso. Like, well, I walk the walk, and I believe in kindness, and all of these things. I wasn't saying them out loud, but it was who I was allowing myself to become in my mind. And what I was doing was, I was becoming a narcissist. You're going, no, Jamie, no, you aren't. Yes, I was. Because here's what it is. When you feel not enough and you begin to fill yourself with these grandioso thoughts that your actions, that somehow you are better than the next person because you do X, Y, and Z. This is how it starts. Then you live on a diet of likes and comments on social media. I have people in my life who literally create statuses on social media just to fill themselves with likes and comments. Like, that has become what is self-sustaining to them, what makes them feel good. They change their profile picture to try to garnish attention. It's all around me in my industry, nonstop. Let me go back. So I was doing this to myself. Well, I'm good, and I'm this, and I'm that in my mind. And I caught myself after about 6 weeks. And I thought, it's not your journey, kid. It's not your journey. If no one ever puts you on TV again, it's not your journey. If the next woman who's ruining her marriage and selling out her children and fighting with her friends or whatever she's doing is on 10 more years of television, that is her journey. She has a different calling. You are two different people. You have to trust that. Don't see it as a reward. Don't see it as a punishment. And then I went back and thought, well, how do you balance this in real life? Especially kids, teenagers. They are they live on a diet of reality television and unsupervised social media and, you know, what the next person this pop culture celebrity, you know, well, Kendall Kardashian has 19 million followers and she posts a ton of selfies in her bra. So if I'm posting more selfies in my bra, somehow that'll equate to my self-worth. Well, as parents, we have enough to do. We're trying to keep our marriages together at a time where marriages are failing faster than they ever have before. We're trying to keep our jobs at a time where the job market is more saturated than it ever has been before. We're trying to pay bills at a time where bills are higher than they ever have been before. We're dealing with more things like depression and overeating and all of these things while trying to parent, which we already know is the hardest job in the world. These kids who are either becoming narcissists because they believe somehow they are better, more talented, better looking, whatever, because on social media they have more friends, more likes, more followers. Or we're dealing with kids who feel less than because they don't have those things. How, as women, are we supposed to balance all of this? It upsets me because it puts a level of expectation on us that makes it near impossible for us to find our self-worth and hold on to it, because how are we not going to fail at something every day? How do I be the wife I need to be to make sure Michael's happy, and that I'm also happy, that it's a marriage that's fulfilling for both of us, plus raise the kids, teach them values, morals about God, self-worth, love, all of that, while teaching them how to respect elders and their bodies, keep a decently clean house, do a good job at work, pursue my own dreams? How does any woman manage that without feeling every day like she is failing somewhere, like she is drowning? How do we hold on to our self-worth without filling our minds with these grandiose thoughts that will in turn turn us into narcissistic lunatics, which is what I was doing to myself? This, for me, is a real topic because women are self-medicating. They're numbing themselves constantly. If I see one more post about how it's 5 o'clock somewhere, gotta have a glass of wine at 3:30, kids are home from school. Yeah, it's funny, but there's a bigger issue for women who immediately feel like the second they have to come home and do or be, it's like drinking this and getting through on social media. It's like, we've got to open this dialogue and have real conversation about it. We can't be afraid to talk about self-worth is a dinosaur. It's literally like extinct. True self-worth. But yet we, moms, dads, have the responsibility of teaching our children how to have self-worth when we are struggling to find our own self-worth. So many of us are running the rat race. We're on this hamster wheel, trying so hard just to make it to the end of the day, to put kids to bed, to celebrate bedtime, drinking, magazine, television, social media, reality television, Twitter. The other day I was in the living room with Michael, and I looked across the living room, and I was reading a magazine, and he was reading the news, and I thought, we are in two different worlds. We are winding down from our days in two different ways. We are not connected. We are not using each other the way we are intended to be used. I'm tired. I could let it go. I could go back to my magazine and deal with it tomorrow, or I can close the magazine and have a conversation with my husband. I closed the magazine and said, listen, part of my self-worth hinges on the success of this marriage. Good, bad, or indifferent, it does. And if I go back to my magazine, I am contributing to the distance in this marriage. He put his phone down. We spent the next 30 minutes talking, but that was because I initiated it. I was exhausted. I didn't want to, believe me. but I am trying really hard to find some balance somewhere so that I don't have to fill my head with false prophecies about what I am and what I deserve. I need to put the work in. That's why I do these coffee talks, so that we can keep each other on track. This is the hardest time. Our generation, the late 30s, 40s, it's an uphill battle. Self-worth is somewhere. We have to find it. It's buried at the bottom of the laundry pile. But if we are ever going to find a way to give the gift of self-worth to our children, we have got to find it for ourselves. This is just one coffee talk on this subject. Just one. I got a lot. Let's comment, share, like, because it's a dialogue. And I need as much help as you guys do. I love you today. Have a great day.